Are you ready for a story? This story is called Young Cuchulainn, Athlete and Future Warrior. It's based on an Irish folktale. Long ago, the people of Ireland had a great hero named Cuchulainn. Cuchulainn was the son of a god and a human woman. He was the strongest warrior in the world. He defeated whole armies all by himself. He rode in a great chariot, and when he fought, he became like a wild animal. This is the story of how young Cuchulainn's life as a warrior hero began. When Cuchulainn was little, he had another name. His name was Setanta. Setanta was not a great warrior yet, but he was a very talented athlete. He played a game called hurling, which was the greatest sport in Ireland. The game of hurling is played between two teams on a large field. The only equipment is a wooden stick called a hurley. The players try to hit a hard ball into the other team's goal. Hurling is an extremely difficult game, and Setanta was an incredibly skillful hurler, even as a little boy. When Setanta was just 8, he practiced with his hurley in the fields around his home. He ran like a wild horse. He jumped like a great lion. He had the strength of 20 men. "Setanta is so strong and fearless," said his mother. "Someday he will be a great warrior." And she was right. One day, Setanta received a special message that changed his life forever. One morning, while Setanta ran through the fields, a large bird flew down from the sky. "Setanta," said the magic bird, "someday you will be Ireland's greatest warrior hero. That is your destiny." The little boy listened carefully to the bird's message. "But a warrior must have many skills," said Setanta. "I only know how to play hurling." "All great Irish warriors start by learning the sport of hurling," said the bird. "Then they learn other skills. You can learn those skills too. The king has a school for young warriors. Go to that school, join the other boys there, and learn to be a warrior." Setanta ran to his house. He put his clothes in a bag and picked up his hurley and ball. "Where are you going?" asked his mother. "To the king's school," he said. "It is my destiny to be Ireland's greatest warrior hero." "But you are too young to be with those boys," said his mother. "They are bigger and older than you." But Setanta was sure of his destiny. He wanted to start learning warrior skills now. He hugged his mother, said goodbye, and ran out the door. It only took Setanta a day to run 100 miles to the king's school. When he got near the school, he heard many boys playing in the fields. They were playing hurling. The boys were older and bigger than Setanta, but he wasn't scared. As soon as he reached the fields, he took his hurley and ran into the game. He didn't even ask for permission to join the boys. The older boys all looked on with amazement at young Setanta as he took the hurling ball from the biggest boy. Setanta caught the ball, ran across the whole field, and made a goal. "Who is this little kid?" asked one of the boys. "We didn't say he could play with us," said another boy. The boys all gathered around Setanta. They were angry, and they wanted to teach the small boy a lesson. The biggest boy walked up to Setanta and challenged him to a wrestling match. The little hero grabbed the big boy by the arm and flipped him over his shoulder. The big boy landed with a thud. Now the other boys wanted to wrestle Setanta too. "Here we come!" they shouted, and they all jumped on Setanta. But Setanta was too strong and quick for the older boys. He started to flip them over his head. They landed on the ground all around him. Soon, each of the older boys had a different injury from trying to wrestle the little hero. "He's too strong," cried one boy. "We can't beat him," said another. This is amazing, yelled a third boy. How can someone so small be so strong? When all the boys were lying on the ground and only Setanta was still standing, the older boys gave up. You win, they shouted. We can't beat you. One of the leaders of the king's army was watching the wrestling match. He ran to tell the king about Setanta. There is a future warrior hero here, cried the man. He's just a little boy, but he is as fierce as a lion and as strong as 20 men. The king went to the field. When he got there, he saw Setanta playing with the other boys. Setanta was lifting 2 boys over his head at one time. The king asked Setanta to join his school, and the other boys were glad to have Setanta join them. Very soon, Setanta was the school's most skilled warrior. Before long, an important man and friend of the king arrived. This man asked Setanta to be his guard. This man's name was Kulan. Kulan gave Setanta a new name, Cuchulainn. This means Kulan's hound. Kulan gave Setanta this name because he knew Setanta would protect him like a fierce guard dog. From that time on, Cuchulainn protected Kulan and all the Irish people. The words the great bird spoke came true. Cuchulainn became the greatest warrior hero of Ireland. The end.